The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
And I happened to be earlier today speaking to an older Talmud of mine. He graduated DRS already in 2005. Chaim Gedalia Howie Feibush. I've told this story before, but I want to add a detail. I was reminded of the story about his father. And I've shared this story before. It's an incredible story. But I have a new way of looking at this story. His father was a big tzaddik in our community, Dr. Josh Feibush. And his father, unfortunately, was diagnosed with cancer. And he had lung cancer. He was not a smoker, but he had lung cancer. And they removed one of his lungs. He was doing well for a while, and unfortunately the cancer came back. And the doctors at this point gave him no hope. And then one doctor told him that there was an experimental treatment in Pittsburgh. Some of the Chevra will remember this story. It's worth repeating. Experimental treatment in Pittsburgh. He says there's very little chance, but if you want, it might be able to give you a few more months to your life. The family decided they're going to try this. And it was like 7 rounds of chemo. And he went to this hospital in Pittsburgh. About 3 rounds in was this time of the year. It was January. And I was in Eretz Yisrael. This Talmud of mine, he learned in the Tivaria the year before. And I was in the office, I remember like yesterday on a Tuesday night with Rav Bina. And I was talking to Rav Bina. I said, you remember Howie Feibush? You remember, his father is sick? He says, I know. He pulled out of his wallet. Rav Bina has this card, and he has all these names that he davens for every single day. Yeshua ben Chai, who was davening for him every day. I said, maybe is it possible that Rav Bina maybe could get a bracha from Rabbi David? Rav Bina looks at me, and he says, let me tell you something. I'm not going to do his voice now. I'm just going to tell you the story. He says, on Sunday, I flew to Egypt. It was the yahrzeit of the Aryeh Yaakov, and I flew to Egypt with Rabbi David, a few other people, one other person that I know, and they went to the kever of the Aryeh Yaakov. And he says, when I was there, I knew about Dr. Feibush already, and I gave Rabbi David his name, and I asked him if he'd daven and give a bracha for his refuah. And he did hishtadchus. Hishtadchus is lying out fully on the kever to connect to the tzaddik. And he davens for Dr. Feibush there. So he says to me, I think there's no bigger bracha than that, and don't worry. Okay. I spend the rest of the few days in Eretz Yisrael. Matzah Shabbos, I fly out. I come back Sunday. Sunday, I'm on the phone with Howie. Chaim Gedalia. And he says to me, Rebbe, you're not going to believe it. Tremendous miracles. I'm like, what? It's like my father was 3 rounds into this experimental treatment. And they did a scan to see how he's doing. And they told him he's completely cleared. There's no cancer left in his body. Nothing came up. And they sent him home. And I said to him, can you tell me something? When did that happen? Thinks for a moment. He says, yeah, it was last Sunday. I said, oh. You mean like moments after Rabbi David davened for him on the Aryeh Yaakov's kever. Nobody like Rabbi David. So why am I telling this story now? Not just because I spoke to Howie earlier today and I was thinking about it. Let me tell you something about Howie's father. And Vada, there's no question that Tfilos and Rabbi David and plays a role. But Howie told me about his father that he didn't realize till much later that his father, every single Friday night. Now his father, by the way, did not grow up religious. His father was a very brilliant person, a tremendous Bal Chesed, a tzaddik, an incredible person. I knew him well. Unbelievable. Nobody like him. The chesed he did for people, ben nister. But like when he moved into, let me just tell you where he was coming from. When he moved into this neighborhood, the first Shabbos, he went to shul in Beis Shalom in jeans. But he didn't know that wasn't normal. And he became a Talmid Chacham and an unbelievable person. And he said he realized later in life, it took him a while till he caught on to this. At first he didn't realize, but first he thought it was basically that his father, every Friday night, after the Suda would go to sleep, and around 12 would wake up and learn all night until davening. Every single Friday night. At first, he would wake up, he thought his father was waking him up, whatever. He finally caught on and realized his father would sleep like 2-3 hours after the Suda, whatever it was, depending on the time of the year. Wake up at midnight and learn all night until davening in the morning. And it hit me thinking about this, what happened to his father, and now learning through this Torah that we shared tonight. You know what he did? He synthesized, and his father was connecting to Torah in the deepest ways on Shabbos Kodesh. And if Torah by itself can bring the world back to the way it's supposed to be, because the world is based on Torah, and if Shabbos does the same, because it's both Torah and Shabbos are the Shemos of Hashem, and a way to connect to Hashem, Vadin, individuals learning like that on Shabbos, Mizaychet Ala Refuos, as he was. And he lived many more years, Baruch Hashem.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org